She knows she's being filmed. That freaks me out at first. I was like, who got into my house? I'm like, that's your cat, dude. That animal belongs to you. So I'm about to go to my parents' house. I'm sure my mother texted me. Yep. You know, something that I talked about in the last video. I kind of wish that my parents and I were closer. That I had a better relationship with them. I mean, I've just kind of had to accept that this is probably as good as it gets. Mainly because
once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic.
Bye-bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Yeah, I just had to accept the fact that, like, you know, we just don't see eye to eye on things. And they're extremely stressful. And I know that I'm not the only one that gets stressed out by my parents, especially my mother. You know, a lot of people get stressed out. And I'm really lucky that they've done all these things that they've done for me. But I think it's also because, like, it just... Look at little thelonious. He's in the palm tree. He's in the palm tree. He's hiding. It's gonna shut off in a second, okay? It goes on for 90 seconds. So if you can hang for just a little while longer, it'll stop, okay? is where we got hit that one time. And I wasn't wearing my seatbelt then. And I sustained all these injuries, and I still can't seem to learn. Sometimes I'll wear it though. It's just not my natural, it's not my natural inclination to do what I'm supposed to do, because that's what other people do, you know? And it's not because I want to be rebellious or anything like that. It's just not, I don't know. I think for a lot of people it's like their natural inclination to just like put on their seatbelt and, you know, do whatever they're told to do and not look at whatever they're told not to look at, because it's bad, right? Well, I just watched that video where I was talking about Adam and Eve and how they disobeyed. Oh shit, what the fuck is that? I don't know what that was, but I hope nobody runs over it. But we have a natural inclination to question things. And I think one of those things that we question is relationships, you know? And so I think that many people are tied to people, places, and things. So family and friends and neighbors and their school and their class. I hated my class. I hated my class so much. I loved the class before me and I loved the class after me. I hated my own class. Ooh, that person was smoking a cigarette. Did you see? But yeah, like, people get attached to things because they think that they're supposed to. They think that that's like part of like who they are, you know. And I think that's where the source of this pain comes from. Is like we think we're supposed to have something. We think we're supposed to feel a certain way. And if we don't, then we've failed. Well, it's like, I've always disappointed my parents. And they still did a lot of shit for me, and I think my brother hates me for that. Because he did everything that they told him to, and, you know, he's addicted to his phone just like all these other people that did what they were told to do and listened to the elite and listened to their parents and listened to their educators and all that. And it's like, yeah, they're totally fucked. And I'm not saying I'm not fucked in my own way, but at least it's a way I understand, you know? Like, everybody else is just, they're stuck. They're in this fucking loop of like doing what they think they have to do in order to survive. They replace survival of the fittest, or whatever you want to call it. They've replaced it with, you know, who fits in. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That sounds like poster material right there. But, you know, this has always been the case. It's just that in American culture, it's like, oh, it's so nauseating. I don't know how anybody is not ashamed to live here. I don't know how anybody is not ashamed to be an American, considering, like, what most of us do with our time, what most of us consume, and we're just, like, fine with being poisoned, you know? Yep, that's why they do it. That's why they do it.
Because why wouldn't they? You could say it's evil. I mean, it is in a way. But in another way, it just makes sense. It's like if somebody's weak and you expose their weakness. Like, that's why I try to keep my mouth shut. Because there's a lot of weak points that I can easily point out and circle. And I could destroy people, man. I really could. But I'm not going to, because that's not right. But you know, like I told you guys that a little while ago, I think it was like in 2017. So, man, almost 10 years ago. That's crazy. I did a set. I did a comedy set that really upset this black girl. She made it about race because she could make it about race, because I did include the N-word, okay? But it wasn't derogatory. I used the word in a very endearing way, soft day and everything, okay? But it wasn't just that. It's like she made it about race because she's just an insecure person. Very, very insecure person. And I knew that. Which is why, like, I apologized, because I genuinely felt bad. Because it, like, hit a nerve with her, and that's not what I was intending to do. And I don't want to do comedy to upset people like that, you know? I want to make people think. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or make people feel like shit or anything like that. And that's never why I say anything hyperbolic. You know, if I'm just saying kind of fucked up and sensitive shit, it's not because I really feel that way. It's because it's somewhat of an exaggeration, okay? But yeah, that is partially why I've been somewhat leery to do too much stand-up, or I guess that's why I don't really promote myself, because I understand that it won't be well received. And I mean, even my own fans have an issue with me. Even people that have been friends with me, or they say they've been friends with me, and they understand me or they appreciate me, they really don't. They don't know what I'm talking about, or they get offended. They get offended by me. And I never mean it the way that they think, and I'll explain it to them, and it's like it makes it worse. I still need to put this on a poster. Your explanation will also offend them. Or maybe your explanation will offend them more. Because anytime that you explain something and it's not what they want it to be, then they can't keep living in that delusion of like, this is what you meant, and you just went out of your way to hurt me and all this shit. And it's like, no, dude. I can understand how things that I've said and done can be interpreted as hurtful or selfish or what have you, but that's never my intention. What the motherfuck is going on? I just assumed that we wouldn't have to deal with this today. I think it's just up here, though. I think it's just up here at this little whatever the fuck. We'll see it in a second, okay? Well, it's not an exit. There's not an exit up here. There's not an exit up until... Well, actually, no, I guess I was wrong. Yeah, sometimes it just like randomly slows down. It doesn't make any sense. No, this is an exit though. My bad. I'm I'm just stupid. I'm just so stupid. That's another thing that I think offends people. The fact that I am constantly like getting onto myself. Like, I have a very comfortable relationship with myself, obviously. And I can yell at myself and argue with myself, and we just bicker all day, you know? And like, I really wish I could pass that along, because that is such a beautiful thing to be able to do that, you know? Reduce speed during wet conditions, lights on when raining. It's the law! It's the law! Oh. Don't you love that? Don't you love these like threatening messages from the state? What are you doing? Are you gonna switch lanes? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gotta make up your mind. Stop being a woman, dude. Stop being a woman. See, I really don't hate women as much as as much as I bitch about us. It's like I bitch about everything though. I bitch about men too because they want to fuck us. Stop wanting to fuck us. Turn off your biology, damn it. Turn it off. I mean, feminists have. They've done such an amazing job at turning off their biology, dude. It's mainly through the medication they're on. So it's through like the SSRIs and the birth control, and the birth control is making them attracted to these really weak ass faggoty dudes that aren't even gay. And when I say faggot, I don't mean homosexual, okay? I love gay men because they don't want to sleep with me, and that's such a relief. Such a relief. I probably sound like I'm ultra paranoid when it comes to that sort of thing. The reason why is because of biology, okay? I understand biology, and I understand that even though I'm an old hag and I look like a cokehead, and I'm probably not the slightest bit appealing in a lot of ways, I still have a vagina and tits. And because of that, that biology is still there, you know? And I think that there's this major resentment. Like, the reason why men and women can't get along is because, like, there's this resentment that so many men have towards women, such as myself. We're not even feminists, but because we don't want the typical traditional domesticated bullshit, and I don't think it's bullshit, by the way. It would be for me because I don't want it, but for somebody that genuinely wants it, it's fantastic, and I'm happy that they have it, and I want them to have it. In fact, I try to encourage people to have children. There's a chick I work with, she's 18, and you know, all these other females we work with are like, don't you want to live your life? And she's like, no, I want to have babies. And I pulled her aside and I was like, do not listen to them. You have those babies, girl. You have those babies. You get married young and you have those babies. And you'll be able to run around with them when you have the most energy. And I mean, I think she should have like 8 kids. 8 children, my bad. 8 children. Not kids. We don't sacrifice them, okay? Children. But yeah. That's what you gotta do. You gotta like encourage people to make the right decisions. That's what I'm trying to do with these younger people. Because I genuinely don't want that stuff. I never did. But yeah, I think that there's a major hostility because we can't give that that to them. Like, we have the ability, we have the power to do that with our uterus and all. But if we don't want to do that, then it's like, yeah, we're just wasting its potential. And I understand that opinion, but I also am not gonna like try to force myself to do something that I don't think I'd be very good at. I'm not gonna force myself to do something that I've never ever wanted to do. All because I have certain body parts, you know? And just because you're fucking tall and black does not mean that you're gonna be a basketball player, and we need to stop stereotyping, okay? Oh, but seriously. But I do think that a lot of women, they have changed themselves biologically and psychologically because of all the stuff that they take. I already had that kind of mentality when I was a child. And a lot of the stuff that I was told to take, like antidepressant medication and birth control and all that shit, I couldn't stay on it. I couldn't keep taking it because instinctively I knew that it was bad. So okay, we gotta get away from this motherfucker. Oh shit. Okay. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. They're in the slow lane anyway. We shouldn't get upset about that. But yeah, it just seems like if you really, really know yourself and you want to do what you're supposed to do, because I always knew that there was something important I was supposed to do. And it might seem kind of petty and ridiculous that, well, I don't know if petty's the right word actually, but silly is a better word. It might seem silly that I think that this work that I do is so important, but it's like you really have no idea like how much you can influence people. Just by providing them, you know, a different perspective than the one that they're used to hearing. You know, and if they're an authentic person, they're going to listen to another authentic person. They're not going to listen to the same shit advice from the plebeian sheep. You know, they're going to listen to somebody that's different. Because that's what they're seeking. Like this girl I'm talking about, she's real authentic. She's one of the hardest workers I've ever met. And so she's still addicted to her phone though, man. But she's aware of it. She knows that it's a problem. I think it's very possible to make changes in the world, but they're very, very small and they seem very insignificant. But that doesn't mean anything, you know? Like, if you're able to positively impact somebody and that person's life is better because of something that you weren't afraid to say to them, then you did the work that you were supposed to do. And to hell with all the naysayers.